What's up, everyone? Demboy's back at it, man. Excited to be bringing y'all part 2 of single back doubles north. So we're gonna I'm gonna give y'all a new pass play, a new run play, all with the same motion. Then we're gonna revisit part 1, and I'm gonna give you a new setup in the pass play that anyone can do, and then give you a little fun fact about the pass play. Then after that, I'm going to give y'all a nice little tidbit you're going to want to know about not only this scheme, but any scheme, especially in salary cap, where you're trying to pull people. Alright, shout out Charles Rose, you already know what I'm going to say. That was a good heads up, man. Good looking out. Definitely appreciate the feedback. He's definitely the doubles north head in the group here, so all I can say is, man, you're right about how good this stuff is. So you've been onto something. WR corner is what we're going to talk about right now. Now, it doesn't matter which hash you're on for this setup, just that you're on a hash. If you're in the middle of the field, the slant will stop. So will the backwards C route. There you go. There's your backwards C route. So, as always, we start with that motion. Then we're going to go ahead and block RB. We're going to take A, put him on an out. We're going to take X, put him on a slant. So if they're in man or they're blitzing, I'm going to look to A first. So, that's always where I'm really going to start. Let's look at A, see if I can fire that out quick. If not, you're going to have a high-low as a potential read late with X and A over on this side of the field. I am going to show you this. Caveat. In practice mode, this is one thing that I've found. It's really about the only thing I can find, and I don't care what you're doing. Obviously, I have 2 controllers. We're on all Madden, right? Don't matter. Slants, the defense reacts a little bit different on the backside, so in this case, in game, it's going to come open a little bit more. There have been setups that I've worked on where in game that it didn't really work as well. So, kind of an odd thing. You'll notice I'm using the Chiefs. Other side note, they disrespect Dak so bad. My guy couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. And I'm not going to keep shooting this video over and over again because Dak Prescott is throwing crap in the dirt, it's just completely whiffing throws, like by 10 yards. I mean, it's crazy. So I'm using the Chiefs for this. Man, they gotta quit disrespecting Dak, man. They really gotta. So let's focus on X. There you go. Obviously, if I'd have had time to wait longer, that's going to come even more open, right? And that will work. That's a purple, but that'll work against a cloud. That'll work cover 2, cover 3. Don't matter. It's going to look about the same. So we'll set up again. Again, A on an out, block RB, X on a slant. So now I want to focus, and this is really why we're highlighting this, right? Because you can do a slant with an out over anything. But Y and B creates a high-low over on the other side of the field. That's a very unique high-low because then B clears out and comes across the field. So let's say you've hit someone with the slant. They're a little bit nervous about that. So now this is going to simulate the user following the slant. This time I am going to throw to B, but we're going to note Y. So just note what happens to the defense when B comes over the top of Y, getting Y wide open. Now, if you have someone with Playmaker, Y would be a great guy to have there, right, with Playmaker, because you got the hitch. So, side note that. But you see how, and I just low point that in there over the middle. So you see now when that C route goes over the top of Y, it just pulls everything back. So Y really just always gets open unless the user does something about it. And I still low point and A catch that, just because I prefer to take the sure thing and be a little bit safer, as opposed to the guy then comes up and hits him and he drops a pass he's got no business dropping. But for consistency's sake, I do want you to see that that is really how that's going to play. Give you another setup here. And this is just going to be a way to create a spacing concept. So you could go ahead and put B on a flat. So again, we're just going to go ahead and focus on Y and B. So that just kind of pulls the defender out further yet. Gives you a nice little option. Something you can utilize in like short yardage situations maybe. And then, you know, the tight end can become a wild card. You keep him on the out. You can put him on a, you know, a go and see if maybe you get this guy cheating over here to try to jump Y, something like that. You know, if the user's on that particular linebacker, they might vacate. So just a few different little things you can tweak, things to think about there. So the next setup, which obviously I can't show you here, but whatever, it's pretty obvious what's going to happen, is we would take A and put him on a go. Then I would take X and put X on a deep crosser, alright? You could then leave Y as is. You could put Y on a drag. Again, if he has playmaker, right, then you can, you know, playmaker him up around. You could take Y and just leave him on a normal little hitch. You know, assuming like if you're going to be rolling out, maybe you just kind of want to keep Y a little bit closer to you. Something like that. So, another little thing that I want to give y'all about this is, let's say we just do the original setup, but I put Y on a little hitch like that, and that's just to keep him a little closer. If I want to roll out, cool, right? Yeah, this can make it even harder to guard this play. Really, is what it does. And there's so many things when you roll out there where you could catch somebody slipping. And you could catch somebody using the single high safety up here and get them following the crosser if you did this setup with the crosser as opposed to the slant, right? And maybe sneak something in there. Otherwise, you'll have the crosser or the slant, like I showed you this guy here. A lot of times this guy'd get open, or maybe the whole defense starts to slide the other way, and you can playmaker him, try to playmaker him up into here, or playmaker him over to the middle of the field to follow you, right? Because maybe someone drops back on this guy, vacating this part of the field then. If you missed any of that, whoop, rewind. So those are all different kind of things that could happen with the rollout. And that could be good if someone's blitzing you, or if someone starts to just kind of sit on it and figure it out. When I lab this, my process, guys, is I take my salary cap team, I go into regular head-to-head, and I run it every play. All right. I actually made it to the divisional round of the playoffs on one of my seasons doing this once I really started to put this all together. You know, eventually you run into good players, and that's not going to fly, right? Maybe they're not even a good player, and Madden just says, hey, his entire team's 97 overall, sit your little salary cap team down. Which is all good, whatever, I'm not trying to win. But that's how I test this stuff, guys. So, you know, it gets really stressed out. And what I can definitely say is this setup was something that people really struggled with. So, a few different little ways you can run things, little tidbits, things to know, right? So, now, let's move forward. I'm going to give y'all the new run play. This one is so nasty, so especially when you start hitting them with the pass and the pitch a bit. So you know what, we're going to cover the little caveat, the thing you want to know. If you're in salary cap mode, when you have somebody pulling, 85 lead block is your magic number, which really requires a higher overall lineman. You can go on Muthead, figure out who you like for that, you know, just go by lead block. But shout out Charles Rose, he's the one who let us know here that 85 is your threshold. Otherwise, what happens is the guy will just go out and pull, and it'll look like he's about to block the guy, and then he just don't do anything. He just, like, sidesteps out of the guy's way, like, oh, excuse me, sir, did you want to make this tackle? Please do, because Lord knows I don't want to do anything. So, 85 is how you avoid that. Now, obviously, if you're in salary cap mode, you maybe don't want to have two guards with 85. That's a lot. So, ace power is the next play that we're going to focus on, and what I would then do is I would flip it. So I can make this guy my guy who has the good lead block, and if I'm running the pitch, I can run it the other way. If I'm running this, I can run it here, and I've just got the one guy with lead block. I don't need two guys with 85 lead block. So to run this, we're going to do the same motion we always do, except we're going to spam hike right when he's past the center, because at that point it's too late for the user to really react. You can't change your defense. You know, okay, eventually they're going to start to know when the ball snaps there, it's going to be run, but who cares, right? And that's where you end up usually. You end up with a little cutback, which is great because the pitch especially starts pulling the user out. And then you end up with a nice little lane to kind of sneak back in very frequently. Obviously, you got insta-shetted, but I could have came in and then up at an angle there. That is a very good run play. So this and the pitch are excellent run plays and are a big part of the reason I chose to highlight this package, because I wanted to give you something where you have some really good run plays and some really good pass plays. This is it. You know, you don't need Hot Route Master with this formation to have a good inside run play, a good outside run play, right? And what more do you need? We've got it. So let's now focus on the pass play that I gave y'all for part 1. Two little things to add to that. So we talked about slot corner. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. If you're on a mobile device, I'll make sure that there's a little square in the corner at the end of the video. Bring you right over. You can go watch that right when you get done watching this. Make sure you like both, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe. The support is appreciated, man. It really is. Alright, so again, same deal. So as opposed to putting them on the flat or, you know, some of the different things I showed you, what we can do is just put him on a hitch. That's really what I wanted to highlight, guys. You go ahead and get him on a little hitch here. Highly unlikely they cover that. So that's the little caveat. The next thing I want y'all to understand is that you have a beater baked into this as well. So I'll show you that quick, just because we have, if we don't motion him, so I'm kind of getting ahead of myself scheme-wise, but if you just want to quick snap somebody, for example, you can see where you'd have a baked-in beater to Robinson. You don't even need to do anything. For me, what I'll do is I'll move him out, and this becomes a hybrid. You could burn cover 4 because you have the pin concept with the post and the dig, and then you can beat cover 3 because you have Y pulling that corner down. Now it's possible the match concepts can stick with B, depending on who your receiver is, who the defender is, if they've left match concepts in, etc., etc. That's against cover 4. But you will see some in-game footage of me burning some cover 4 with this. And you can see where I just lead B open. You know, he's going to come open. So guys, I do have a bunch of in-game footage here to show you. Please, please, please study this in-game footage, because it's going to give you a much better idea of how this stuff looks in-game than what I can do in practice mode. Especially because I can't run a crosser either, right? So it's a big part of it. Them boys, like, comment, subscribe. Enjoy this in-game footage. Peace.
Up a bit to start as he's out of bounds at the 16. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath, but first do no harm. And right now they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Doctor. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Hey, team 6. Team 6. Hard. Sean, go. Get.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. This is Johnson. He's got it. A gain of end zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 4th down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward.
59, hey, Charlie. Hey, Sam off. Look at me. Go. 15, check 15.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. The quick slant caught. Legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
40's Mike. Chopper. Hard, hard. Fan, fan. Check six guard. Hey, lock it. Fight.
They'll look to throw here.
Under 10, under 10, 10.
That one complete to Hill. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the...
C6. Hard, hard. Fan, fan.
Second and 1. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 28 yards. And his guys are going to retake the lead. Gostkowski with the extra point.